Path of Titans have outlined the future of the game in terms of upcoming content in their latest July devblog, with lots of photos, lots of upcoming features, and so much more in both video and devblog content. Today, I'm breaking the whole thing down, compiling everything from the video and the devblog into one massive devblog overview. So, let's get right into it. The developers started the devblog with the breakdown of the aquatic critters they recently added to the game. Goniopholis being the main highlight here, but they did briefly show videos of the other ones, in which they showcased a variety of in-game development photos from the creature's development. This includes skins and the size of the crocodile, the rigging and modeling stages, and more. Probably showcasing parts of the development process for the Goniopholis that we wouldn't otherwise have seen, as well as shots of the animations in solo form from the devblog video itself, properly giving a clear look of the Croc AI, the star show of the recent AI updates. But that's not what we're here for in terms of AI. TANYSTROPHEUS is an upcoming semi-aquatic AI, and by the way, the user who said about TANYSTROPHEUS like a few months ago, I bet he's very happy now. But this is coming to the game, and the developers have quite a bit to show. But it wasn't a lot compared to the Goniopholis, and I'll explain that in a moment. But in regards to things that they showcased the skins, with 3 skins shown, 2 of which are in the devblog post. One was a yellow bellied and grey on top one, and the other one was a variety of colours with a stripy yellow and black neck. The other one was actually in the devblog video, which was yellow and beige with some darker patterns along it. So overall, the TANYSTROPHEUS will look to get about 3 skins. Additionally, we got a variety of shots showcasing the model development of the TANYSTROPHEUS, with the untextured model, the low poly texturing, and various close-ups as well. The developers confirmed that this is 20 foot long in terms of what it is known to grow as. Now, this doesn't confirm its size in-game, but bear with me for a second, because if this was 20 feet long in-game, this will be the biggest AI critter to enter the game, especially at its max growth, because at its max growth, it would be easily bigger than most playables. However, because it's a critter, I really doubt that it will be that big. The other trivial part of this is that it's 50% neck, and of course, the lovely gangly teeth. There was equally a variety here for the model as well. The devlog didn't have too much, but most of it came from the video itself. Equally, there were little to no developer comments about the TANYSTROPHEUS after the devblog went up, so in terms of information, all we have for it is literally from the devblog. But in terms of what we don't know, this is it. We don't know the current behavior of the critter. Some users hope that this will be more passive, but currently we do not know. It's likely it will have an alpha stage. That is one of the skins that was showcased, and it's going to be really aggressive in that. Unlike the Goniopholis, however, we have seen 0 animations, which indicates we'll likely not see this for another month at the least. Now, while I'm here, I need to pause the devblog showcase and actually talk about an error that I made. I was wrong in my last video that I uploaded on Monday. Wow. Velocci made an error. My time has come. I guess it's time for me to be cancelled. But essentially, in Monday's video, I said or mentioned about grapple as number 1 on my list of forgotten featured. And in that segment, I listed a wiki piece, which was on an official Path of Titans wiki page, explaining what it was. Now, this, like I said, was from an official wiki, so it could have been taken as official information, especially for someone like me. And also thank you to the Path of Titans helpers, which were General LDS and Starlight Eve. Shout out to both of them. They pointed me in the right direction with this. It was pointed out that the information was ported from a fan wiki, and so is not accurate at all. And normally they will never include information on upcoming and unreleased features in the wiki page. So the information has since been removed. It's not accurate, and regarding grapple, we're back to knowing nothing aside from it's probably coming to the game, and that's literally it. Anyways, back into the devblog. We now move into 3 related updates: foliage, quests, and environmental effects, all for world updates here. We're starting off with environmental effects because they don't really tie together like the foliage and quests do. Firstly, there are 3 effects. The first one is the newly released swimming VFX, which is shown as splashing in the water to make swimming seem more realistic for the swimmers and paddling dinosaurs. This was added in the latest update. The next are 2 new environmental inclusions, and I cannot wait for them. The first one is my favourite one, and it's smokestacks. Underwater smokestacks will be coming to the game. They'll be said to show billowing smoke and clouding the water around them with the submerged heat vents. It looks like they come in three forms: a small form, a middle one, and a tall, slender one, which looks like it's got a secondary vent attached to it. Now, the devblog video itself showcased a video of the smokestacks. It didn't last for that long. However, you could see them actively pumping the air out, and if you look at the shadows of the mid-sized chunky one, it looks like it does have a secondary vent as well. Small insects will now swarm environmental carcasses and other deceased creatures. I say now, it's not out yet. The developers said it will add a level of intrigue and immersion, and these look very much like little cockroach or maggot style bugs. These to me are giving me the heebie-jeebies, but I do want to add that the devlog shown a standstill picture, the devlog video showcase some video form of it as well, both a close-up video and a distant video. They'll be on the screen while I'm talking about it. The quality of the videos are a little bit low, but I think it showcased how they work quite well. My thought is they won't show on all bodies, and this is just my thoughts here, but maybe they start to appear over time for bodies that have been there for a long amount of time. As the body's left for longer and longer, more bugs swarm the body. That's how I would see it, which makes it make sense for the natural spawned corpses, and a little less sense for player corpses, especially a fresh dropped corpse. However, what's your opinions? How do you think it will be like when it's added? Part 2 of the world updates is for foliage. We actually have quite a bit to talk about. There were 4 pieces of foliage that were shown off. In fact, what's interesting is in the devblog itself, there was only 2 pieces of foliage. 2 pieces of foliage that were showcased. In the video, there was 4, so we're going to be talking about them. The first one is the aquatic crinoids. Now, these are shown by one picture, which showcased all 4 different forms of the crinoids, a smaller one and 3 taller ones with various shapes for its leaves, quote unquote. Now, crinoids are based off a real-life creature in the sea. There are both stalked ones and non-stalked crinoids as well. The red sea lily stalked crinoid looks the most similar compared to the one in the image here. However, these aren't new modern creatures. These have been around for a long time and probably have been around during the dinosaur time as well, because fossil evidence suggests that. So it would fit very well in prehistoric seas. That being said, next we have the blue moss. At first I thought this was an aquatic item, however it doesn't appear to be so. That being said, the developers explained that the moss will be a collectible quest item that players will be able to pick up and find in specific locations on the map. And also, the second last one I want to talk about is just this dried up seaweed or leaves, very similar to what you can see scattered along the coast in the game at the moment. It'll probably add some more variety to that. And the final one are these coastal bushes. Now I say coastal, they're probably going to be on the shores of riverbanks, although it would look cool having these spread in mangroves as well. Now these are designed to be clear of branches on the inside, with their aim to let smaller dinosaurs hide within their leaves, but still be able to peer out to watch for danger. The dev said these will be growing near shores, which will allow for safe places to drink or plan river crossings. These to me remind me of the little bushes that you can also find that are very similar to this along the shores of the rivers in the Isle of Rima as well. That being said, there are 3 images shown. 2 showcase the bushes from different angles and the other showcases the bushes from inside. Speaking of river crossings, we need to talk about these quest updates. The devs have explained a new type of quest is coming to the game. Now, of course, this kind of ties into the quest system overhaul, but in a little different sense, because it fits better with world updates. Because as I explained briefly, these aren't quests that are like major quests, but these are loosely called quests. The way they explained it is these are interactions that the players can take part in to earn reward. So kind of like the point of interest quest, it's not really a main quest, but it rewards you to go to an environment. This will reward you for interacting with the environment. Essentially speaking, these are not the main part of the quest overhaul. These are parts that add to the world and interactivity that you'll have with the world. Speaking of which, we do have 2 that were provided as examples in this devlog: scratch a tree and knock over a tree. Let's start with knocking over a tree. This is planned to be an interaction where there will be a specific weathered tree in certain areas, whether that's near a river or in a forest or on a canyon. You can attack the tree to knock knock it over. Part of me is going to assume there will be a combat weight threshold to knock over the tree, although this isn't confirmed, but I can't see a baby dinosaur knocking it over. The dev said you can use the tree to cross rivers or canyons, giving 2 examples of where you could use them. They equally shared 2 images of the knocked over tree. It's likely it will have a set knockover pattern in my eyes, like if you knock it over from any angle it's just going to fall the same way over the designated area it's meant to fall over, but we'll have to wait and see. The other one is tree scratching. This is another planned world interaction. It's where you find an old twisted tree and interact with it by scratching it. This will allow your dinosaur to scratch it with either your claws or your horns, leaving marks in the embedded bark. It's said that these marks will stay for a long amount of time, which could alert other dinosaurs to your presence and would be a good indicator if a dinosaur has been active in the area. It does make me wonder how dinosaurs like Tyrannosaurus will be able to do this specific scratching interaction, because he's not got the biggest of little arms, does he? He's got little tiny arms, but he doesn't have a horn. You know, you can get away with Picnomosaurus because it has horns, roughly. What's the Rex going to do? Is it going to rub up against it like a bear? Maybe. We'll have to wait and see. The developers did say there's more interactions to come, so there won't be just these ones, and they'll showcase more over time as well. Now, the biggest part of this devblog update was the distant calls, which have been slowly being trickled into the game, with the current dinosaurs having it being Tyrannotitan, Tyrannosaurus, Dinocheirus, Barsboldia, Eotriceratops, and Spinosaurus. However, the devs gave us information on this, what they are aiming for, and what the design is, and what the next dinosaurs are that are going to get them as well. But let's talk about them. The aims, firstly. The current aim is to make sure the dinosaur calls sound ominous at a distance and can be heard at a distance, especially the larger dinosaurs having their vocalizations travel with distance, giving a chance to leave the area if they aren't looking for a fight, or go towards if they are. These are aimed to couple nicely with the footsteps too. The next dinosaurs to get this, the developers did outline some of the dinosaurs. Those were Iguanodon, Allosaurus, Pycnonemosaurus, Daspletosaurus, and other similar sized dinosaurs next. Now, the key thing here is they mentioned other similar sized dinosaurs as well. They're probably not going to list them all, but I have a great suspicion that Suchomimus and Sarcosuchus and Anodontosaurus will receive the treatment soon as well. And they're focusing on the core calls, so the aggro and broadcast calls. Now, the design, the devs actually went into a little bit of detail here, because while working on the calls, the devs mentioned they wanted to include unique elements to make them all identifiable. They crafted new calls from scratch, as the engine's processing options for the current calls wasn't enough. This allowed the developers to design what they wanted each dinosaur to sound like at a distance, and this is why it takes a little bit longer to make these distant calls. They weren't concerned about realism for the calls, mainly because they were more concerned about making things sound interesting and moody. They added tonal elements, frequency response was heavily tailored beyond what was possible in engine, and code was crafted to allow the calls to blend seamlessly with the normal close calls. And for future tasks, they have outlined in the future they want to make adjustments based on our feedback. They are starting with the broadcast and threaten calls, but that doesn't rule out the others, and after that they aim to have biome/location specific reverbs to properly tie it all together. This is something that will be slowly trickled out via future content updates as they work through the other dinosaurs. Now, this wasn't mentioned in the devblog itself, but the developers have updated the bug tracking website. The developers mentioned this in the devblog and wanted a little bit more detail on the Discord as well. So they firstly explained why they've made the upgrade and switched to a new bug tracking website. Bugs won't be lost over time in this new website, and they'll stay up until they're resolved. The devs are now able to better track issues more efficiently. The community is able to upvote bugs that affect them, prioritizing popular bugs and bring more visibility to them as well. The bug tracker skins are now awarded more easily as well, because you'll be able to submit bugs after logging into your Alderon Games account, so rewarding players for bugs is a lot easier. The whole aim is to make reporting bugs more simplified and easier for the developers to find. And also get a better understanding of a bug based on the number of players that have upvoted it as well. It's equally important to note that the current Discord and GitHub bug reporting system will be shut down and soon made read-only. However, existing bugs in the Discord do not need to be submitted, as the devs are keeping an archive of those bugs to go through. And there you go, everybody. That is the whole devblog in a deep dive. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Obviously, you had the devblog video. I've gone into it with a bit more meat and explanation to it, trying to piece together everything that was shown in the devblog video and in the devblog itself. So yeah, let me know your thoughts about this devblog. I think it's awesome. Really excited for TANYSTROPHEUS, and I really hope they make it 20 foot long. I saw a lot of people saying they would rather it being a playable, and maybe one day we could see a playable mod that is TANYSTROPHEUS, because now it's got a model. People don't need to mod in their own, like, make their own model for it. You could just use the TANYSTROPHEUS AI. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you later. Have a great day. Peace.